Hello and welcome to the video series on the Tour of Go exercise walkthroughs. Today's video covers the fifth exercise, stringers, from the Methods and Interfaces module inside of the Methods and Interfaces chapter. Rather than just showing you my solution directly, I will explain all the necessary golang concepts in context for you to leave with a deep understanding of what each and every single line of code really means. What is the question asking of us? Make the IP address type implement fmt.Stringer to print the address as a dotted quad. For instance, IP address 1234 should print as string 1.2.3.4. Going from top to bottom, the main package is declared. We're importing fmt. A custom type IP adder is defined, which is a type alias to a 4-element byte array. This means that each IP adder value holds exactly 4 bytes, which perfectly represents an IP address. Inside of the main function, a hosts variable is declared as a map of string to IP adder, the type that's defined up top with 2 items, defining the loopback and Google DNS IP address. Next, a for range loop iterates over the host's map and prints each element inside of the map. When ranging over a map, the 2 values returned from range are 1 the key and 2nd the value. We saw in a previous exercise for slices where the first element is the index and the second element is a copy of the index. In fact, here it's also a copy of the map's value. Inside of the loop, it's using a format string. Here %v is being replaced by name and then secondly by IP. %v is a format verb that prints the value in the type's default representation. Right now, that means that values of IP adder are printed as regular arrays. When we run this, we see that the IP address is simply printed using array representation or the square bracket style. Our goal in this exercise is to change that behavior so that IP adder is printed as a dotted quad. Alright, to pretty print IP adder, all that is needed is to implement the fmt.Stringer interface. Fmt.Stringer is a tiny interface from the fmt package with a single method. The method is named string and it will return a string. We can also confirm the interface definition here in the fmt package documentation. We see exactly this single method and it says stringer is implemented by any value that has a string method, which defines the native format for that value. The string method is used to print values passed as an operand to any format that accepts a string or to an unformatted printer such as print. We could even go one step further and look at the source code where this is defined, but for now this is good enough and let's get coding. All right, let's define our function. It is on the receiver IP, which is an IP address, named string, returning a string. Inside of this function, we'll return the formatted string. So we'll go return fmt.sprintf. We'll say %d.%d.%d.%d. And then each format verb will be replaced by the individual parts of the IP address. So IP0, IP1, IP next to, IP3. All right, that should print the classic dotted quad style IP. And now when we run, yes, we see the correct output. The IP address values now are printed exactly as defined in the exercise description. Coming back to the method definition, the first part here in front of the name of the function is called the receiver argument. It indicates that this method is callable on that type, in this case on a value of type IP adder. So internally, the printf in main calls the .string method on each IP right here. It's basically the same as saying .string on the IP, and that would give us the same result. And lastly, notice that IP address implements the fmt.Stringer interface just by having the right method. Nowhere to be seen is there any implements keyword or any sort of explicit statement that IP adder is defined as a fmt.Stringer. Generalizing, if the method set implemented by a type matches the method set of an interface, the type automatically implements that interface. Short and sweet, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.